Mic check, mic check, mic check. Dora L. Shalawama, can you hear me now? Put a 1 in the chat if you can hear me, please. Mic check, mic check. Let me check the one day that I don't check and we don't have sound. Y'all see how that goes? All right, so no sound, no sound. Okay, thank you, Appalachian Joel. So let me try to Gary Tucker. Thank you. Let me try to get this together, y'all. Give me 1 second. Let me check on my device to see how we're doing. The one time I didn't check to see if we got sound, and we didn't have sound. Okay, so all right, so yeah, I corrected it. All right, cool. All right, so let's sorry about that, y'all. I got to go back and do everything again. So anyway, let's begin. Okay, Gary Tucker writes, sound is clear. Thank you, Gary Tucker. Appalachian Joel writes, Appalachian Joel writes, greetings, Dora of L. Let's see. Gary Tucker writes, sound is great. All right, y'all. So let's get back into it. So we're on page, scholars, welcome. Welcome, scholars, welcome. Let's see. Appalachian Joel writes, I got nada. Appalachian Joel, what does that mean? I got nada. I got nothing. Is that, you mean no sound? Appalachian Joel writes, greetings, Dr. Yasapa. Greetings, Shalawama, Islam, Hotep. To everybody, all the Moors, regardless of what nation you are from, regardless of what family line you ascend from, Shalawama and Islam to all the Moors. All right, so y'all, let's get back into the book. This is again the Devil's Pulpit, the astrological sermons by the Reverend Robert Taylor. Yesterday, importantly, I think it was presentation number 50 yesterday. The author made some very, very shocking claims. Appalachian Joel writes, okay, just reloaded page, got sound now. Okay, excellent, excellent. The author made what some people would think are some very shocking claims. Okay. He also revealed that Freemasonry, the degrees, number 1 is Christianity. And then at the highest level are Hebrews. Okay, Hebrews, that's the highest degree. And at the highest degree of Freemasonry in review, the Freemason is made aware that the Gospels, etc., are fairy tales. That JC, the Christ figure, is the Son, and this tells the whole story of the movement of the heavenly bodies. In other words, nature, 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 okay? And the deity whose name is spelled B-A-C-C-H-U-S is involved in all of this. And the veneration of that deity of wine I just mentioned, that deity's love of wine and partying and orgies is the cause of Freemasonry going bad. Okay? It's the cause of Freemasonry going bad, according to the author. So what once started out as a good thing became corrupted with alcohol and orgies, and now you see what it is now. All right, so let's continue. Let's continue with the lesson on page 255, y'all. Invite some people. Please like and share the video, y'all. Call somebody, text somebody, tell them to come in. Because this is 51. This is video 51. I'm thinking that somebody who comes into this brand new and they're interested, they got 51 videos to look at, right? Probably what, maybe already 75, 80, 90 hours. And they're going to start from that's a lot. So the more people we can get in now, the less work they have to do to go back and review. So if y'all could do that for me, I would appreciate it. It also helps to grow the channel too, you know. So let's get started, y'all. I'm going to go back through all of the stuff that I just did. Let's see. Dorb L writes, alcohol and orgies sound like Christianity, don't it, man? Don't it? Isn't that? And you know, we always hear about these religious people getting caught up in sex scandals. Gary Tucker writes, greetings, brother. Greetings, greetings, greetings. We always hear about these religious people getting caught up in sex scandals, homosexual, pedophilia, all of this stuff. And y'all know what about MLK, right? Remember I meant to mention this yesterday. Y'all remember the FBI tapes about MLK and the stuff he was involved in? He was also a Freemason, according to Dr. James Small and others. So maybe that's where he got introduced to it, through Freemasonry. You know, I don't know. I'm just guessing. No offense to his family or anything, but you know, I'm just discussing the history of it. All right, so let's get started. Page 255. The spirit of the great master. Oh, I need to start. Let me put this up. Gary Tucker writes, he liked WGRLZ. Gary, what is WG? I don't know what that is. Oh, okay. I think I understand. I got you. Yeah. Appalachian Joel L writes, I have heard the clergy used to offer sex and alcohol to men to get them to join the church. Not sure how valid. I wouldn't be surprised. You know, wouldn't be surprised. Okay, so I need to start. Okay, Appalachian Joel L writes, Catholic priests have sex with nuns and bury the babies. Yeah. And you know, they were probably doing that in these orgies. So yeah, you're right, Appalachian Joel. Okay, so page 255, the first paragraph. The first paragraph reads, so let me highlight this for y'all. This is where we're at. That's page 255. That's where we'll begin. But I, in challenge of all the Freemasons in the world. So the author is challenging all Freemasons. This was 1831. But I, in challenge of all Freemasons in the world, better acquainted as I am sure I am with their mysteries than they themselves. The author is saying, I challenge you because I know more about Freemasonry than you know. And I'm sure of it. Archer than the archiest of them, have not stumbled at the word. From yesterday's presentation, we will recall that the word is the password written in Masonic code in the letter to the Hebrews. You recall that, scholars, from yesterday's presentation, that, for example, if you are second degree, let's say you're Israelite degree, you have to go to a lodge for second degree or Israelite degree. You cannot go to, let's say, jump up to the top to the Hebrew degree because you haven't acquired the knowledge, right? But some unscrupulous people, some dishonorable people have tried to jump up and enter a lodge that they had no business going to because they hadn't acquired the knowledge. But they got checked at the door because they did not know the password. So they stumbled on the word and got found out and dealt with. So the author is saying that he has not stumbled at the word. Now, y'all know it says at the word. Have not stumbled at the word. For example, like you are at Philadelphia. You are at, let's say, Miami. Not in Miami, not in Philadelphia, not in the word. At law, not in law. Y'all got me? Jurisdiction. Jurisdiction. Y'all think about that. I have discovered the great secret. The spirit of the great master, Hiram Abiff, the immortal widow's son, have led me to the center from which point no master mason can err. And of those genuine secrets of a master mason lost by the untimely death of Hiram Abiff and admitted to be lost in every lodge of Freemasonry in the world, I can say, Eureka, I have found thee. I have drank the blood of the everlasting covenant, and the life of the capital Lord JC, the Christ figure, flows in these veins. So the author is telling us that the spirit of Hiram Abiff revealed all of the Masonic secrets to him, and he is confident that he knows more than all other Freemasons for that very reason. Why? Because the untimely death of Hiram Abiff and admitted to be lost. In other words, when Hiram Abiff died, all that knowledge was lost to all the knowledge, to all the lodges of Freemasonry in the world. So who is this Hiram Abiff? Let's just take a quick look at his bio, not to spend a lot of time there, y'all, okay? But let's just take a quick look at his bio, and you all can do the follow-up work on this. Let's first go through some of these comments. Okay, Dorov L. writes, they also said he was bisexual, him and Abernathy. Yeah, I heard that too. So now we're seeing where he might have been introduced through this stuff, through the orgies associated with the deity of wine, whose name is Bacchus. Appalachian Joe L. writes, careful of one's heroes. Yes, indeed. Joe L. writes, well, one needs to vet their deities. Yep. Appalachian Joe L. writes, at, not, and not in. Yes, indeed. At the door, not in the door. Very good. Yes. At the door, not in the door. At the word and not in the word. Words have to do with jurisdiction, right? Language, jurisdiction. Okay, do some research in that in your Black's Law Dictionary. Okay, door of L. An onlooker, not a participant. Okay. Appalachian Joe L. At, a term of considerable elasticity of meaning and somewhat indefinite. Very good. Appalachian Joe L. Thanks for doing that. That's the type of scholarship I like. Put those definitions of words in the comment section. Great job. Congratulations, Appalachian Joe L. You're stepping up your game, man. Good job. Great. Okay. So when we talk like that, we're talking about jurisdiction, law, language, okay? What is the meaning of attorney at law? If you're at the door, not in the door. If you're at law, not in law. If you're at the word, not in the word. All right. So let's take a look at this Hiram Abiff, okay, and see what we can come up with. All right. So we're just going to do a cursory bio. If y'all, there you go, right speech, you're on the right track. But right speech for what? Right? Right speech for what? That's jurisdiction, right? So if you go somewhere and you're not talking the right speech, maybe you're going to get locked up because you are not speaking. Okay, so let me see. Sorry about that. Roderick's point of view writes, evening, Shalom, Roderick's point of view, welcome. So we are going to look at Hiram Abiff. I'm trying to do so many things at one time, y'all. I'm getting confused. It's times like this where I wish I had a woman to do this for me. You know, women can do 10 things at one time and no problem. It's looking like, wow, how in the world can they do it? But they managed to do it, man. They definitely managed to do it. Okay, so now let's take a look. Let me make sure y'all can see my screen before. Oh no, drop my phone. I hope it's still working. Let me see, y'all. Drop my phone. Okay, so yeah, we're still in business. All right. I want to say congratulations to you all too, because it's Saturday night. You chose to spend the evening on this topic. That shows a lot of commitment and dedication. So congratulations. And y'all being here is encouraging not only to me, but I'm sure to everybody else who are here. So welcome and congratulations to the day ones, all of you who I depend on to make it happen in the comment section. You know who you are. So thank you very much for spending Saturday here to make this the best, the most outstanding learning experience that it can be. I appreciate that really greatly, because y'all could be doing a whole lot of other things, but you chose to be here. And I'm sure that the Most High will do something and give you something extra for the discipline and effort that you demonstrate. So let's look at who is Hiram Abiff. There's a Bible verse quoted here, Ephesians 5:11. I'm just going to read through a little bit of this, y'all, okay? The verses that we'll focus on have to do with, they're in Chronicles and Kings. So Hiram Abiff and the scriptures, the name Hiram Abiff is not found in scripture, yet the Masonic account of Hiram is often said to be based on the Holy Bible. In the Master Mason degree, in that portion of the ritual as the legend of the third degree, there are 3 central characters. All right, so let me click on this. We'll just go a little bit further with it. Okay, who is Hiram Abiff? If the song leaders across the country were to stand on these platforms on Sunday morning and ask the members of the church, quote, who was killed, buried, and raised from the grave, end quote, the majority of members would immediately respond with the name of JC, the Christ figure. A few might also remember the name Lazarus, whom JC raised from the dead. Yet they would remember that Lazarus simply died. He was not killed. In a significant number of churches, the name Hiram Abiff, the son of a widow of the tribe of Naphtali, would come into the consciousness of some of the male members. In some churches, the question would cause even the pastor to think of Hiram. Although these men know that the name Hiram Abiff would be considered a valid answer to the question by other men with whom they privately associate in Masonic lodges, with whom they privately associate in Masonic lodges. Privately means secretly, right? They would be reluctant to mention the name of Hiram in church. Y'all see how hypocritical they are? Certainly, they would not explain the Masonic teaching that they have embraced concerning the death, burial, and resurrection of Hiram Abiff. That would cause others to doubt their Christianity. So they got you going into the church praying to JC the Christ figure, while they're secretly doing their own thing with Hiram Abiff. Okay, in private, you paying them, and they holding back on you. They're not telling you what they should tell you, right? That should tell y'all something. That should tell you something about these pastors. And it's not a matter of personality. Pastor so-and-so, Moshe so-and-so, Moray so-and-so, he's so nice. It's not about personality. It's about action. The death, burial, and resurrection of JC the Christ figure is the essence of the gospel. The scriptural account of the gospel is stated most succinctly by Paul, quoting from 1 Corinthians 15, verse 1 through 5. Now, brethren, I want to remind you of the gospel I preached to you, which you received and on which you have taken your stand. By this gospel you are saved, if you hold firmly to the word I preached to you. Otherwise, you have believed in vain. For what I received, I passed on to you as of first importance, that JC the Christ figure died for our sins according to the scriptures, that he was buried, that he was raised on the third day according to the scriptures, and that he appeared to Peter and then to the 12. All right. And so we see other scriptures, right, on that topic. Now, Hiram Abiff and the scriptures. The name Hiram Abiff is found in scripture, yet the Masonic account of Hiram is most often said to be based on the Holy Bible. Let me repeat that. The name Hiram Abiff is not found in scripture, yet the Masonic account of Hiram is often said to be based on the Holy Bible. In the Master Mason degree, in that portion of the ritual known as the legend of the third degree, there are three central characters. The storyline is set around the building of Solomon's temple. The characters: King Solomon, Hiram, the king of Tyre, and Hiram Abiff, are all taken from scriptural account of the building of the temple. King Solomon and Hiram, king of Tyre, are mentioned many times in the scriptures, such as in 1 Kings 5. About the closest the scriptures come to Hiram Abiff is Hiram Abiff, which is found in 2 Chronicles chapter 2, verse 13, in the Nas and NIV translations. Huram is a variant of Hiram. In the KJV translation of the verse, the name Hiram is found. So you will see, let me highlight that for y'all. In the KJV, the name Hiram is present. The KJV uses both Huram. Huram is found at 2 Chronicles chapter 2, verse 3, and Hiram is found at 1 Kings chapter 5 to identify Hiram, the king of Tyre. The KJV translation of 2 Chronicles 2, verse 13 does not contain Abiff, but rather Huram, my fathers. That's a quotation. Who ran my fathers? The Hebrew word from which the KJV fathers was translated is Ab, A-B, according to the Hebrew dictionary found in Strong's Concordance. Okay, so Strong's entry for the word Ab is H1, that's Hebrews 1, indicates that it can also mean fatherless, as the son of a widow would be. The entry for H1 or Hebrews 1 in the Strong Lexicon also means Abi, A-B-I. Studying the various translations along with a Hebrew dictionary allows us to see how Freemasonry can have settled on the name Hiram Abi FF, or Hiram Abiff, Hiram Abiff, okay, also sometimes spelled Abiff. I'm not going to read further on that. Okay, so y'all can come to this website, Ephesians chapter 5, verse 11.org, and read more up on this, okay? The Hiram Abiff in Masonic ritual. During the legend of the third degree, the candidate portrays Hiram Abiff in the ritual. So the candidate is playing Hiram Abiff. He is blindfolded and led through the ritual by a conductor. In Masonic ritual, Hiram Abiff is not a worker of brass as in scripture, but rather the grand master at the building of Solomon's temple. Each day he lays out the work for the workman to complete. There are fellow craftsmen who work on the temple who are to be given the secrets of a master mason as compensation. Do y'all see the value? Do y'all see the value? The value of knowledge? These people are working. No, this is a ritual. This is a ritual. They are working, working to build a temple. This is not easy work. They're working to build a temple, and they are compensated with knowledge. That's the type of mindset we have to have. Compensation with knowledge is worth more than a Federal Reserve note. It's worth more than a Federal Reserve note for obvious reasons, right? So when I offer you 101 Ancient Ibaryath, the streaming course, take it. It's extremely valuable knowledge. Act. Go get in the course and get that information, because that's what's going to help you free yourself. It's going to help you return to the Most High. Jeremiah 8:8, right? You're going to learn grammar rules, etymology, all of this stuff that will free your mind, break the God spell. Let's continue. This is the value of knowledge, the value of linguistics, the value of being able to take the Hebrew scriptures, take the Mosaic law, and understand it scientifically using linguistics on your own, not coming to me or somebody else, on your own once you acquire these skills. So go get that course if you already haven't. All right, each day he lays out, the initiate lays out the work for the workman to complete. There are fellow crafts who work on the temple who are to be given the secrets of Freemasonry as compensation. As compensation. No money, no gold, no silver, no fiat. When the temple is completed, y'all see that? Not only that, they're not getting paid as they work daily or weekly or monthly. They get compensation after they put the work in and the project is completed. Y'all see the value of knowledge? and how these people are putting most of our people to shame. They're putting most of our people to shame because our people, unfortunately, the way they've been enculturated and educated, they want instant gratification and they want Federal Reserve notes, right? And they want entertainment and all kinds of disgusting things associated with that make you into a lower self person. But here we see some nobleness, some honor, right? You're willing to work, invest, and then receive knowledge as compensation after you've performed. All right, let's continue. Once they have the secret of a master mason, they will earn the wages of a master. Y'all got that? Once you understand Ibaryath, that's when you can start making things happen. You free yourself and everything that goes along with mental freedom and being able to read and comprehend. But I won't say more about that because of the topic that we're in. But I hope y'all see the point I'm trying to make. You must value and be thirsty for knowledge to return to the Most High. All right? And not be greedy and want to hold on to $10 because or not be not self-respecting, expressing self-hate because you rather hold on to 10 Federal Reserve notes instead of going out and getting into the class and learning. Jeremiah 8:8, right? All right. A group of 15 fellow crafts decide that they do not want to wait until the work is completed. They form a plot, which only 3 of them carry through. The 3 ruffians sequentially accost Hiram at the gate, the south gate and the west gate. Oh, y'all see what's happening. A similar dialogue occurs at each temple entrance. The ruffian demands the secret of a master mason. Y'all see what these rebels are doing? Hiram explains that this is neither the time nor the place. The secrets can only be revealed in the presence of 3: King Solomon, Hiram the king of Tyre, and myself. The ruffian demands, quote, your life or the secrets, end quote. Hiram responds, quote, my life you can have, my integrity never, end quote. When they fail to get what they want, they strike Hiram with one of the working tools and he is staggered to the next gate and the next encounter. The 3rd ruffian is also unable to extract the secret from Hiram Abiff. He strikes Hiram on the head with the setting maul and kills him. Hiram willingly laid down his life rather than betray his trust. Okay, so that's very honorable behavior. All right. So there's a very powerful message in this, and I hope that we are looking at it in terms of our reclaiming our heritage. You got to remember, when you return to the Most High, you start to follow his instructions, which are natural law. Okay, now you're behaving honorably, right? Honorably. It's honorable behavior. So I'm not going to read more of this, okay? But y'all can come back and read this yourself. Let me take a look in the comment section. Give me 1 second, y'all. Give me 1 second. It's a lot going on. All right, I like this. I like this. All right. So let's see. Let's start with Door of L. Participant one that participates, shares, or takes part in something. Excellent, excellent, excellent. This is the quality, this is the type of high quality comments that we need. Doorbell, thank you very much. When people, y'all be surprised. Well, I'm sure I'm not telling y'all anything that you don't know. But when we have this type of academic performance, when people come in and read and watch the video, they learn at a higher level because we're taking the connotation out of it. Appalachian Joe L writes, and not only that, but when they see you all doing this, then they're more likely to do it, right? Or you can ask them in the comment section to do it. And they really can't say no, right? I mean, and not be right, because you've already set the example and shown them what to do, how to perform in here. Okay, so Appalachian Joe L writes, the right woman, yes. Very true on that. Women make a good counsel. Yeah, yeah. Joel L continues. Who was Hiram Abiff? Freemasonry's most noble figure. Yes, okay. So Doorbell writes, Solomon was really dealing with labor guilds and Masons corrupted it. Yeah. Appalachian Joe L writes, many Freemasons, hold on, y'all. Many Freemasons and claim Hiram Abiff was the chief architect employed by King Solomon to build his temple in Jerusalem. If true, makes Freemasonry older than modern Christianity and Islam. Okay. Gary Tucker writes, Hiram is associated with Tubal-Cain, who was in the Bible. Hiram is presented as the chief architect of Solomon's temple, according to Freemasonry. Yeah. Appalachian Joe L writes, and historians. Dora L writes, reclamation of light by self-control, loss of lunar germ, retention of the lunar germ, the solar germ, divine or immaculate, conception in the head, regeneration of the physical body. Okay. Hiram Abiff, origin of Christianity. That's Dora L. Dora L continues. Is the South Gate symbolic of the, wow, you know, I never thought about that, man. That's something. I never thought about that. But I see your point, yeah. Appalachian Joe L writes, the lost password, 3 strikes, you are, Let's see what else. Oh, 3 strikes, you're out. Gary Tucker writes, Tubal-Cain is the password. Oh, okay. So Tubal-Cain is the password. All right. All right. This is excellent, y'all. This is excellent. Excellent, excellent, excellent. So let's go back to the paragraph. I mean, to the PDF. Let's go back to the PDF. So now we have some idea about who this Hiram Abiff is. Okay. PDF. Hold on, give me 1 second, y'all. All right, I found it. So here we are. All right. Next paragraph, we will begin here. We'll begin at the highlight. Abest, O procul, abest profani. Be far hence, O ye profane. Brother Junior Warden, see that the lodge be properly tiled. Let not the Trussians tear their Orpheus. Let not the wicked approach to hurt me. Let not hero of the cave again assault the sacred person of Hiram Abiff. We just read about that. The immortal widow's son. They keep saying he's immortal, right? Let not the Christians, again in my person, crucify the son of capital God afresh. and put him to an open shame. And then masons of the higher orders, quote, to you it shall be given to know the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven. And none of the wicked shall understand, but the wise shall understand, end quote. Brothers of our holy order, again I charge you to see that our lodge be properly tiled. If there be any here who love not truth, or fear to hear it, that is, fear to hear the truth, let them depart in peace. I pronounce the great and fearful word of capital God, which is, quote, quick and powerful and sharper than any two-edged sword, reaching to the dividing asunder of the soul and spirit, and of the joints and marrows, and is a discerner of thoughts and intents of the heart, end quote. How many people have gotten kicked out of their religion because of the misunderstanding of that verse of scripture that we just read right there? These people, these pastors, rabbis, mores, Hebrew Israelites, whatever you want to call it, who are using this set of scripture, let me highlight it, believing that they can use the New Testament or Bible to look inside of somebody's heart and tell what their motivations are, and that the deity is going to bound whatever judgment they place on that person. And the author is telling us right here that this has nothing to do with that. But this is Masonic metaphor for what we're just talking about, right? But this is what Christians, the organization I was in, this is how they operate. They think that they can, based upon Bible and prayer, understand your motive and then either kick you out or give you some other type of punishment that's going to affect your relationship with your babies, with your wife, with your blood family, if they're also in that organization. Your whole social network can be destroyed off of this foolishness right here. The author is saying, of course, that there's a double meaning, one for the religious people, and then there's the encoded real meaning, which is the Masonic meaning. All right. Lives are being destroyed and have been destroyed by the probably millions based upon this scripture. I know for a fact how many people's lives and families were destroyed and relationships were destroyed in the religion that I was in. Okay. I know my own experiences with this madness. Let's continue. The sharp cutting sword do I now strike home to the heart of every individual who has ever been initiated in a lodge of Freemasonry. Let me go to the next page, y'all. Okay, so let's continue. Let me turn my page. Give me 1 second. All right. In the declaration of a truth, which must print in a declaration of a truth which must penetrate him to the marrow, that is the Freemason. In a declaration of truth that must penetrate the Freemason to the marrow. And the truth is that no honest man was ever conscious of a secret, or being conscious of one, ever kept it. He who would be privy to the concealment of anything which it concerns an other, as well as himself, to know is a villain. Oh, so I want to know why he's saying that. He who by any sort of ceremonies could be bound by others or imagine that he had bound himself to keep such a secret, doeth right himself a fool. Okay, so I see what he's saying. He said people got loose lips and they're not going to keep a secret. I believe that's what he's saying. That's my opinion. So let's continue. And though he may have been passed through all the idiots and fooleries of the drunken, beastly ceremonies of the deity whose name is spelled Bacchus, who called themselves Masons, he was never a member of the community of rational men who called themselves free. The very signs and symbols, the winks and grips, passwords and ceremonies by which he has been befooled into conceit that he had been led into the secret are proof and demonstration that he had been shut out of it. Wow, y'all got that? So it's the exact opposite of what they were told. The secret, or as the world originally meant, the sacred. All right, the not secret, it's really sacred. The sacred, SACRED, the sacred of Freemasonry was in its intention only sacred and secret from the natural and insuperable difficulty of communicating the great truths of astronomical science to the vulgar mind, and of preserving records of the great phenomena of nature, which only the very few of mankind in their infant emergence out of barbarism had leisure to observe or integrity to record. All right, y'all. So what is this telling us? I just want to focus on the nature part, the astronomical sciences. Do you see now why they are ruling us? They're ruling us through science. What science? The science of language. Also, what? Now remember, language is natural, so that's also natural law. Physics, right? The natural sciences, engineering. So while they got us focused on religion, demons and devils and deities, they are focusing on observing nature and progressing science. Y'all see why we getting beat up and we lose at everything outside of a basketball game and a football game and track and field? Because they have us submitted to them, because they have captured our imagination and got us believing in superstition while they themselves are mastering the understanding of nature. Language is included in that. Science. That's why they're making jet planes and rockets and cell phones. And we're still arguing about deities and religion. And these were not secret nor sacred any further or in any other sense than the science of geometry or navigation are secret or sacred from those who know nothing about them. Y'all got that? All the mystery and allegory grew upon the necessity of using symbols and characters by which the well-skilled in these sciences might communicate with each other. Y'all ever notice why is it that you pick up, let's say, a Strong's Lexicon or Brown Driver Briggs? You pick up any of these books, 99.99% of the people cannot understand them. Why are they written like that? Well, the author just told you to exclude you. keep you stupid. It's not like it's not there and you don't know about it. It's just that you cannot understand it because you don't know the characters and the symbols. In other words, you don't know the language. Y'all got it? Why is it that you pick up a chemistry book or engineering book or mathematics book and you don't understand nothing? Because you're not supposed to. You look at some scientific research, you don't understand anything because you are not supposed to. You're not supposed to understand the statistics. They don't want you to know that. They want to keep you in religion. And when you go into their universities, they will, unless you have a personality and they see that they can control you and you don't think much of yourself, they see that you will work to further their purposes and causes, they will make it hard and try to flunk you out. All right? They will make it hard and try to flunk you out. And if you pass, if there's any type of, let's say, thing in the school where everybody has to pass, they will pass you at almost failing because they do not want you to be able to get a job. All right? They want to keep you in religion, suffering, so that you can continue begging the deity. All right? So that's why these books and articles, research papers are written technically. So the average person, and even a college educated person, cannot read and understand it. It's a form of control. This is the purpose of peer review. Peer review maintains the status quo. That's right. Peer review articles or the peer review process maintains the status quo. This is what we want you to think. This is what we want you to know. And any researcher, any professor, anybody, you want to work in a university setting, anybody who presents something outside of that, your career is finished. You're done. You'll never be able to get any research money, right? You just might get yourself knocked off. All right, let's continue. That's what the author is telling us here about Freemasonry. It's control through language. All the mastery and allegory, all the mystery and fairy tales grew upon the necessity of using symbols and characters by which the well-skilled, that's those who can read, that is, before we kind of talked about this, right? We talked about jurisdiction. Remember we talked about jurisdiction, right? The difference between in law, at law, right? Law language, okay? Well, we're standing at the door of that right now. All the mystery and allegorical stories grew up from the necessity. Y'all see, necessity. They thought it was a necessity, right? The necessity of using symbols and characters by which the well-skilled in these sciences, y'all got that? The well-skilled, and this would be what? In today's world, this would be all of these so-called intellectuals and experts who are heading government agencies, so-called government agencies, right? U.S. Well, y'all know what these U.S. corporations are, and y'all know what they did and are currently doing since 2020 until now, the biological warfare. They have people presented as experts to convince you to do what they want you to do, and you don't speak their language, do you? You don't speak the language. You don't know medical language terminology. You don't know anything about public health. Most people, right? Right? And so they present themselves like that, so you have to trust them. Okay? All right. By which the well-skilled in these sciences, that's your experts, PhDs, heads of universities, heads of government agencies, heads of departments and universities, so on and so forth. All right. By which the well-skilled in these sciences might communicate with each other. It ain't for you to understand. Yeah, you can go to the CDC, right? You can go to a lot of organizations. You can go to a lot of places where research is published, right? And you can read it and you ain't gonna understand none of it. But it's right there in your face. But which the ignorant and foolish multitude run away with, as the ultimate scope and intention of all that they could ever have been intended. Y'all understand, the author is saying that the common people are not going to, and they don't want to put the effort into learning the language so that they can read, so that they can comprehend. So now you have the one-on-one Ancient Ibaryath course available to you to teach you how to read and translate the Hebrew scriptures on your own. But are you a fool? Are you going to ignore it? Not subscribe? This is the type of attitude that the author is bringing to our attention. The Freemasons use language. Language skills was used to translate our records. Okay, let's call it just the Hebrew scriptures. Okay, are you going to learn, or are you just going to be a fool like the author is talking about? We make it almost free. I mean, $10. I mean, I don't understand that. I will continue. Let's continue reading. And as the dunces and fools were infinitely the majority, so are you a dunce? Are you a fool? Well, that's shown by actions, right? That's shown by actions. The wise and intelligent found their machinery taken out of their own hands. Your machinery has been taken out of your brain. Your ability to use language scientifically, properly, has been denied, taken from you through the public school system. You know connotative linguistics. 99% of our people don't know grammar rules. They don't understand how language works. They think because they can pronounce a word that they read the word. And they think that what they feel the word means is the actual meaning of the word. So here, Zion Law School is offering you the one-on-one Ancient Ibaryath course, streaming at home right there for you. You don't have to move. So are you a dunce and are you a fool to pass that up? Are you a dunce and are you a fool not to show up on Saturday, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for a free class or free classes where you can learn and see the power of learning your own language? Are you a fool or are you a dunce? That's only shown by actions and no excuses. And as the dunces and fools were infinitely the majority, the wise and intelligent found their machinery taken out of their own hand and were not allowed to rectify the error of general ignorance, nor to explain their own meaning. Y'all see the source of Freemasonry power? It's through language, right? Symbols and characters, that's language. What governs the creation of meaning of symbols and characters? Grammar rules, grammar rules, parts of speech. Do y'all understand? Do y'all understand? All right. So what are these symbols? Pictographs. letters, symbols and characters, pictographs, letters, period, exclamation point, hyphen, colon, semicolon. Okay? So I don't know how clearer I can make this. The author has shown from page 1 of this book, The Devil's Pulpit, the author has demonstrated to you the power of philology, the power of etymology. He's demonstrated that clearly, no doubt about it. He's demonstrated the power of being able to read something and criticize it within the context of the paragraph or essay that it was written. He's done that. So you see the power in it just by having started from the first page all the way until now in this book. You see the power of it. You see the power. In other words, if you develop these same skills, this is a science, you can do the same thing. All right? Let me check the comment section real quick, y'all. Okay, let me check the comment section. Door of L writes, that organization wouldn't happen to. Yeah, it was Door of L. That's right. You are correct. Roderick's point of view writes, those Bible concordance are also incomplete. That's right. I found that to be the case. Also, there also have many errors. And actually, my opinion is a lot of that is not an error at all. They did it on purpose. No definition for capital G-O-D in law dictionary. That's Appalachian Joel. Roderick's point of view writes, most people are comfortable with what they know and have despite not knowing the truth. That's right. And that's the source of their power. People are choosing to be ignorant, right? People are choosing to be ignorant. I like what the author wrote right here. All the mystery and fantastic stories grew upon the necessity of using symbol and characters, grew upon the necessity of using language. I'll throw in language and connotative linguistics, by which the well-skilled in these sciences might communicate with each other, but which the ignorant and foolish multitude run away with as the ultimate scope and intention of all that could ever have been intended. In other words, they're going to use technical writing, they're going to use language to keep you a fool, make you a fool and keep you a fool. And we see that, don't we, with the letter to the Hebrews. The letter to the Hebrews, they did exactly that. They wrote something that on the surface is religious. Everybody's thinking that it's a letter to a congregation in Hebrew, to the Hebrew congregation. But no, it's full of, what did the author say? It's full of Masonic metaphors and figures, etc. And it has a Masonic meaning, which is its true meaning. Okay. All right, so let's continue, y'all. So we must learn linguistics. And if you're a House of Yasharallah, you should really, really, really seriously consider reclaiming your heritage. Ibaryath is the original language. That is how you will understand what the Most High's laws are. Roderick's point of view, that's the 101 Ancient Ibaryath course. Okay, y'all? Okay, Roderick's point of view writes, I've heard that once the power of the Tower of Babel was confounded with languages, that they created symbols trying to stop the Most High from preventing them from communicating. Wow. All right. I never heard about that, but I can definitely see that. But that sounds like Khazar type of stuff to me. Because if you ever had Have you ever listened to any? I grew up in a Orthodox Jewish community, y'all. And one of the things that I noticed about their system is that they challenge the creator. Things like you're writing here, Roderick's point of view, and there's a back and forth with the creator, right? And then the creator will ultimately surrender, right? Like the man is right, so the creator surrenders. There's an argument back and forth, and there are these stories, right? As I recall from growing up being around them. But that's not something I would have ever done. It's not something that I would do now, right? So this idea that Roderick's point of view brought up, I think is very interesting and telling, right? If you look at that from a cultural point of view. Let's see, Dor of L writes, Orpheus is Orifice. A school nickname for Orpheus might be Orifice or Orpho or. Okay, all right. Appalachian Joe L writes, oldest language, signs and symbols. Yes. That's all language is, y'all. Signs, symbols, and grammar rules. That's it. That's all mathematics is. Signs, symbols, and grammar rules. Mathematics is also a language. Appalachian Joe L continues, great book I have read is Signs and Symbols of Primordial Man. Excellent. Dorb L writes, Orpheus means orifice, which could mean rectum opening. Wow. Wow. Okay. See, I see where you're going with that. Back to the South Gate. Yeah. That's interesting. Really, really interesting. Okay, y'all. Let's see. We started at 9:30, 10, 11. Let me see, where are we at? So we're hour and a half into it. It don't feel like an hour and a half, y'all. It don't feel like an hour and a half at all. Let's see. Appalachian Joe L writes, the creator gave us free will. It is our right to challenge and to ask questions. Yeah, I agree. It's our right to challenge and ask questions. I just didn't agree with the way they did it. That's my personal thing. But yeah, Appalachian Joy, I agree with you. Let's see where I lost my page, y'all. Hold on 1 second. So I think in that paragraph, the paragraph at the top of page 256, and though he may have passed through all of the idiots, fooleries of the drunken rituals of the deity of wine, who called themselves Masons, he was never a member of the community of rational men who called themselves free, right? So in other words, the Freemason is not free because he's bound to secrets. So therefore he cannot be free. And then also, I think what the author is saying by that statement, Dorab L writes, Mason is full of homosexual symbology. Yeah, I was just about to get to that. Because they are drinking wine in excess, there's got to be a lot of alcoholics. So now they are enslaved to alcohol. Because they are involved in orgies, it's just like any other thing, you need more of it. So there's addiction to sex, and there's addiction to certain types of sex. So they are not free. They have addictions. And they have secrets that they have to keep, right? And they are pressured, because if they ever told, then they could be exposed for the things that they have done. So they are not free at all. I think that's what the author is saying. What do y'all think about that? So let's see, where are we? So I think the profound thing about the last paragraph we just read is that the science is in front of us, but the question is, will you learn? I think that's what the author is saying. And the masses won't learn because the Freemasons are in the position to control everything, and they know that people are not going to take the time to learn, right? To learn technical language, to learn the sciences. That would explain why they always push one crisis from another or to another, because they don't ever want you to be comfortable enough where you can sit down and have time to study, right? If they got you from going from one crisis to the other, you're never in a position to sit down and say, you know what? I'm going to learn this language. I'm going to learn this discipline, whatever, right? When you watch TV, they go from one crisis to another, one sensational story to another, one thing to scare everybody out of their wits to another. Why? So you won't sit down and study. They've captured your imagination. Okay? So let's see. Let's read this next paragraph. It reads, "The great secret of Masonry, which the Masons themselves were not allowed to know, and which for that reason and that alone they never told, was that strong meat, which even the P-rats or Hebrews themselves, that's the Hebrew degree, right? The most learned, the most educated, that's the top, were not able to digest." So even these people at the top couldn't understand. Because, as the worshipful master tells them in the 5th chapter of the Epistle to the Hebrews, that, quote, "strong meat belongeth to them that are full age, who have their senses exercised in the use of their reason, to discern both good and evil," end quote. And there we see that statement in the Greek. "I need to tell ye then how innocent both Jews and Gentiles and all the chouse masons of the craft below the rank of teleos or perfect masons must necessarily be of the great secret of Freemasonry, when, capital G-O-D, a mighty knows that they never exercise their sense or reason in the matter at all." So why is that? Because they are drunk all the time, because they spend their time in orgies. That's what the author is saying. Even the people at the top never learn. Why? Because they got so much orgies, sex, alcohol, and who knows what other kind of drugs going on. Maybe that's why these politicians get strung out on crack. Y'all know who I'm talking about. Maybe they get introduced to it through Freemasonry, right? Alcohol leads to another hard drug. They got all this wild sex going on. Y'all follow what I'm saying? Y'all know important politicians, right? Well, let me not say important, but y'all know who the politicians are who get all the shine. And you know, the son and children of politicians whose lives have been ruined through drug abuse, and politicians who have been exposed for being drug addicts, right? Y'all know the one, the brother down, I forgot what state he was in, the married guy who got caught high in a homosexual situation, right? Remember Marion Barry from a long time ago? Remember y'all know who I'm talking about. Maybe this is why it's happening. Okay? But anyway, let's go back to this quote. "Strong meat belongeth to them that are of full age, who have their senses extended to use their reason to discern both good and evil," end quote. Now, the author is saying that they never achieved this, and that would be because of their lifestyle. Now, when I was involved in religion, they used to use that verse all the time, y'all, all the time. And I remember that these were some of the worst people, and they had some of the worst kids you could imagine. I'm talking about not behind the superficial stuff, but in their lives. They had the worst, they were the worst people. They had the worst marriage and the worst children. But here they are thinking, pretending that they have so much wisdom and maturity that they could judge your life that they know nothing about. But they're somehow going to be given some divine insight and know your motive and know what happened and then judge you and destroy your life, right? And then be arrogant about it. All right, so let's see. Dorb L writes, Masons is full of homosexual symbology. Well, what word do we hear in addiction? When you mark the symbol. It's a good one, Dorabelle. That's a good one. I never thought about that. Appalachian Joe L writes, secrets are hard to keep. Goes back to what the author wrote on how they do not keep and cannot keep. Throw in sex, alcohol, drugs, and it is a wrap. That's right. And maybe that's why they say they're going to kill people, right? If you tell. Maybe that's why. Appalachian Joe L writes, it's a wrap. Okay. Appalachian Joe L writes, Washington mayor, yeah, former Barry. Hunter Biden, let's see, yeah, Hunter Biden could not keep his secrets, caught on tape, yup. Y'all know it's a picture. I heard on one of these news outlets that it's a picture of the former occupant of the White House, daughter is in one of those pictures in bed with the guy that was just mentioned. Did y'all hear about that? Appalachian Joe L writes, Hunter Biden could not keep his secrets, caught on tape while having sex. Roderick's point of view writes, not only that, if you are indulging in these things, somebody's videotaping and now they hang something over your head. Yes, indeed. And that's got to be stressful. Appalachian Joe L, very much so, Roderick. Okay. Dorb L writes, yeah, my sister is a JW. I go through it with her and her messy life. Yep. I feel sorry for your sister, Dorb L. I really, really do, man. That's a strong drug, and that deity, that's a very powerful and wicked and active deity. Gary Tucker, I have that pic. Oh, all right, yeah. Yeah. So this Freemasonry stuff, y'all, but again, what started out by Moors, indigenous people, went bad. And here it is, y'all, right? They're using language to rule over us. What I like about this book, this sermon was given in 1831. But we see the effect and the mechanism. Let me rephrase that. We see the mechanism of how they have done what they've done to us through language, right? So denationalized us, I believe it was in 1792, right? They denationalized us. Negro, black, and color. What year was that? Was that 1797? I don't remember. Somewhere around there. Denationalized us, right? Then they demonetized silver, demonetized gold. That means that all of the substance was removed from the organic constitution of the United States of North America. They implemented the administrative state, and they've been beating us over the head with it ever since, right? And what keeps us stupid And subject to them is that we are going after these deities, violating the first commandment. Don't bring any other powers before my face, not because it's the Most High or some jealous, insecure power, but it's against our own best interest because we have the capacity to do these things ourselves, right? So why would you want to go outside and then that person or deity is going to use you up, abuse you, right? It's like telling a child, don't go running and playing in the street. It's equivalent statement. And then they took all of our land and our inheritance as a result of the curses. The mechanism outside of what we just talked about is connotative linguistics. We don't understand civics and we don't understand language. Okay, Appalachian Joel writes, it's a tangled web we weave when we first practice to deceive. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. All right, y'all. So we're 2 hours and about 2 hours and 45 minutes into it. So let's wrap it up now so that this video isn't too long. So when you go back and review, it won't be too long for you. Appalachian Joel L writes 1868, 14th Amendment. Yup. So be sure, scholars, to invite someone. Be sure to tomorrow invite someone. Be sure that if you haven't subscribed and you're with us today, consider subscribing. Appalachian Joel L writes, 1871, U.S. corporation began. Excellent, Appalachian Joel L. You're doing great. You're doing great. This is what we like to see. So everybody congratulate Appalachian Joel L. He is presenting information that's useful to people who watch this video. That's what we need. Good performance, Appalachian Joel L. Thank you. Dora L writes, imagine how many people, y'all, they don't know anything about the 14th Amendment. They don't know anything about 1868. They're going to get it now. They also don't know when the U.S. corporation began, and they're going to get it now, thanks to Joel L, Appalachian Joel L. Dorb L writes, now I know why Trump was trying so hard to get Hunter Biden. He got Trump's princess. Wow. All right. Hey, y'all, we had a great class today. I wish y'all could have been there. 506 The Curses course, 10 a.m. every Saturday. I wish y'all could have shown up. It was a really, really good course. Everybody who did show up, I want to say thank you for supporting us by showing up today. Let's see. Appalachian Joel L writes, IMAO. IMO. What does that mean? IMO. Amayo or Amayo. What does that mean? Also, if y'all can afford it, y'all got the money and you have the desire, consider subscribing to the 101 Ancient Ibaryath course. So let me show it again. Consider subscribing to this course. Go to zionlawschool.org or go to the link in the description area of this video. All right. This is going to get you what you need to know to reclaim your heritage, which is Ibaryath. All right. So let me go through. I'm not going to read off through here. I'm just going to put it so y'all can look at this. I'm really, I need to drink some water. I'm just going to scroll through here so y'all can see the contents, but this is not everything, it's some of it. The market value of this course is $10,000. Y'all might not believe that because I'm offering it for $10. with a $1 for 1-day trial. Y'all might not believe it, but it is. It is. It is. So don't be fooled because we're offering it at a price where everybody, no matter where you're at in the world, can get it. All right. So let's see. What else do we need to do before we close out? I want to remind y'all of one more thing. Okay. Two more things. Y'all know that if you want to support us, if you like the way I teach, if you like the content here, if you like the subject matter, and you would like to support the work that I am doing with Zion Law School to help our people get into the blessings, to break the God spell, consider supporting us. Links to several books. I think there's about 7 books that I have links to in the chat. If you can afford to, and you have the desire to, and you want to, order copies of our books. Okay, these are books that I wrote, published by Zion Law School on our language. Okay. You can get the links in the description area of this video to any of those books. Also, I've also written a lexicon, the Dr. Yasapa Ibaryath Aramaic and English lexicon. Okay. There's also Animals in the Bible, which is a beautiful book that we're basically giving it away. We're not making, I think we make 74 cents on that book. It's full color. It's for babies, young people, teenagers, and adults. It's full color, beautiful pictures, y'all. Beautiful, colorful pictures. And it's only $9.99. Okay, so that's another giveaway. And the reason why the price is so cheap, so inexpensive, is because we want all of the children, all of the babies to have that. And we want all of the visual learners to have that. Okay. That's Animals in the Bible. But anyway, I'm tired, y'all. I've been like super, super busy and super stressed out. But if y'all want to, I'm trying to clear the shelves of 911 Ibaryath Rescue International Edition. There's some work I want to do with this. So if y'all want to, if you want to support me, I'm Dr. Yasapa, and if you want to support my work, then consider ordering this book. If you want multiple copies, give me a call, and I can give you a price reduction for a multiple copy purchase, okay? But this book, everybody should have in their library, and children should have their own copies of books. They should not share books, right? Why? Because they need to have their own so that they can have an appreciation in their own personal library. All right. So, okay. Thanks, Appalachian Joe L, for letting me know what that means. Doravelle writes, laughing my butt off. Okay. Thanks. Roger's point of view, laughing my A off. Thank you, Roger's point of view. All right, y'all. So let me see if I could show y'all these links. And please just bear with me, y'all. Be patient. I have to do this. You know, I have to show our literature. I think for obvious reasons, you know, so nobody don't feel like you're not getting what you came here for. Don't think that way, because I have to do this because we need funds to keep this train moving, y'all. It's, you know, it costs money, and I have responsibilities too. Okay, so let me show y'all these links. Okay, give me 1 second, please. Well, better yet, let me see if I could. Well, y'all know what to do. I'm tired, y'all. I'm gonna go to bed. I'm Dr. Yasapa from Zion Law School. Thanks for spending your evening with me. Thank you for handling the comment section, making it outstanding. Much, much appreciated. Also appreciate all the progress uh, uh, that you all are making, putting in those definitions, right? All of this type of stuff, information that people can use. So, shalom, everybody. Islam to all the Moors. I need to rest. See y'all tomorrow, 9:30 a.m. Eastern 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I think that's what works best for y'all, right? 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. See y'all tomorrow, 9:30 Eastern Standard Time, p.m. 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Islam to all the Moors, Shalom to the house of Yasharallah. We are one.